When you begin to interview them at 12 or 13, they tell you about a lot of love that they have for their friendships. They talk about wanting that kind of intimacy with other boys.
I think friends are the things that kept me composed in the hardest times that I had.
As boys got older, they began to tell a very different story. They'll say things like, no homo, in response to a question about intimate friendships. That question to them has now become a gay question, rather than a question about just their friendships, which is how they heard it when they were 13 or 14.
No homo was used a lot among my straight friends.
Because of, we don't want to seem as if we're being gay towards each other or saying gay terms.
That reveals the culture, because the fact they're equating friendship with gayness is a part of American culture of masculinity. Somehow to be a boy, grow into a man, you have to be emotionless.
There's a growing but silent epidemic affecting middle-aged adults that has debilitating mental and physical effects. And that's emotional isolation. And those effects are being felt by men most of all. According to some experts, the trend begins in junior high.
I've been studying social emotional development for about almost 30 years, interviewing boys about their relationships, their friendships, the kinds of things that are important to them. As a developmentalist, I follow them over time. Middle adolescence, early middle adolescence, they tell you about a lot of love that they have for their friendships. They're very, very clear about their desire for emotionally intimate male friendships.
A best friend for me is usually someone that I can talk to, be relaxed with, chill, but I would also like a best friend to be communicative. Like, we also have to tell each other and be honest with each other on what we think of ourselves, or like any topic, you know?
We had a very close relationship, me and my friends. We shared secrets with each other and talked very intimately with one another. I would say that, yeah, we loved each other, yeah.
As boys got older, they began to tell a very different story. So they really articulate the bizarre expectations we have of boys as they get older, that they should disconnect from their innate emotional acuity, their emotional sensitivity, in order to become a man.
When he was in high school, Professor Way gave a guest lecture at Vinny's school, and her findings matched exactly what Vinny was experiencing with his friends.
Not only did our conversations start to change, we hung out and didn't really talk all that much. I spent a lot of time alone, or when I was with my friend, it still kind of felt like being alone. But there was a time where I was completely isolated.
Isolation is devastating for everybody. There's stunning findings that isolation is a huge predictor of all sorts of health problems. Smoking, more than a pack of cigarettes a day is equivalent in terms of what it does to your health.
And that isolation is growing in men. In 2000, 20% of Americans reported feeling lonely. In 2010, that rate had grown to 37% for men.
The stereotype of being a man, he's supposed to be stronger than everyone. He's supposed to be the best.
I was being told a lot to start growing up, becoming a man, a mature individual who's a male shouldn't show their emotion.
That's a sort of a stereotype, that you're supposed to not share feelings. You're supposed to show strength. You're supposed to show intellectual knowledge that is greater than any other. Boys have a sort of competition with each other.
The pressure to act a certain way can be hard at times, and to feel like you're maybe not doing things right, or you're never going to be a real man or a man's man.
Being a teenager, you're supposed to you keep your feelings to yourself, and it kind of causes a lot of sadness, depression.
The culture has created the problem, right? The culture of hypermasculinity that we've created, we as people living in this culture have created. We've taken basic human capacities, which is to think and to feel, and we've given them a gender. And we've made thinking into a masculine thing and feeling into a feminine thing, which doesn't make any sense because all humans think and feel, right? But we've gendered them, and we've reinforced that gender.
We're told to live a kind of incomplete human experience where we're only thinking or we're only feeling.
They're disconnecting from a core part of their humanity. We're born human, and we're born with the capacity and the need to connect to others and to have community and have positive relationships. And then we raise boys in American culture to disconnect from that need, to pretend they don't have it, to pretend they're not emotional, to basically fake it, to fake that they're not fully human. I think the boys tell us the story. They tell us the entire story of what happens. They begin to enter into a culture that asks them to disconnect from the very things they need the most to thrive.
Certain people are going to really expect you to act a certain way or act in a way that kind of embodies those cultural norms. I sort of came to this realization that you don't necessarily have to play by those rules. What's important is how we define ourselves as men and what manhood means in America.
We need to do everything we can in schools, in workplaces, in the neighborhood, every moment of life, from the first day of life to the end of life. We need to be nurturing those capacities and nurturing those relationships.
Really listen to yourself and listen to what you're feeling and talk about how you're feeling with your family or with your friends. I want to just say that it's never too late to open up to anyone, no matter what your age is.
If we get back to listening to 13 and 14-year-old boys, they offer us the solution. They reveal that we are human, and boys are human, and they have the enormous capacity to be connected to their feelings.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.